Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia Chapter 291. And oh boy, do we got a chapter to talk about today. So, with this chapter, I want to take note of something I failed to really coherently dive into last week because my hype levels were just too high at the time, which is, can we just sit back and take in for a moment how sadistic Toya's plan of exposing Endeavor truly is? Because up to this point, he allowed Endeavor to build himself up as this new symbol, as this new symbol for society, and Toya helped him by sicking high end on him. Like Toya basically set the stage. It has basically pretty much Toya had set the stage in order to make Endeavor the new symbol of peace, or in this case, the symbol of hope. And yet in the end, it's all been for this. Yet everything that Toya did in order to help build his father up as the new symbol was all for this one moment where he could tear down everything Endeavor represented and even the things that Endeavor had resolved to change about himself. But the degree to which Toya exposes his father also goes to show that no matter how much you may try and change or try to go down a different path than the one you were walking before, there truly is no escaping your past. You still have to face it and accept what's happened. But in this case, it's not going to. But now the problem with this is because of how Endeavor has vowed to change who he is as a hero. It's also gotten to a point where where Endeavor is going to face the consequences for his past actions, and he should. But in this case, it's going to take more than just a simple apology. In it's and like it's and the thing is, and what makes this even more sad and difficult is that in the chapter is that the chapter even goes so far as to show that for a time in the past, when it was just Toya, and when Toya was being trained by Endeavor, even though he was just as hardened in his methods of training Toya as he was with Todoroki later on in life, there was also a time where Endeavor believed Toya would be the one to change his perception. But after his death, he became even more hardened, and it was left up to, and in the end, it was left up to Todoroki in order to fill the space his brother had left, and to inevitably do things that would change Endeavor into who the person he was. Because in the moments he had spent with Todoroki, Endeavor slowly started to see a lot of who Toya used to be in Todoroki. Which, on that note, we also kind of learn why Toya looks like a stitched up corpse, which is that supposedly what's revealed through exposition in this chapter, Toya's power supposedly was for a time was so out of control that he basically burned himself alive. So yeah, that's a little bit of a gruesome thing to think about, while also providing a very intriguing dive into what happens when those with fire quirks lose control of their powers. They do legitimately risk burning themselves if they don't maintain focus and control. So it gives a new perspective on people who have fire quirks, and with Todoroki especially, like even though it's something where he does legitimately have to, just like his eyesight, which can easily freeze him if he's not careful. If he uses his fire side without some form of focus or control, he can literally burn himself alive if he's not careful. So yeah, it's an interesting dive into that particular side of quirks and whatnot. And with all this being revealed about Endeavor, a very interesting thing is happening, which is that the dynamics of hero and villain are breaking apart at the seams even more than they ever have in the past with this reveal, because it shows more than ever that no matter your background, whether you're the kindest soul or have have the shadiest past imaginable, either side either side has equal potential to become a hero and a villain. It's just a matter of how you go about pursuing those ideals and motivations through your actions that matter and determine, I guess, matter. But this is also, but at the same time, this is also kind of an unspoken truth that's been heavily, that if you really think about it, this unspoken truth about what makes a hero, what makes a villain. This is the penultimate moment where where that unspoken truth it shows how much that unspoken truth has been heavily censored from the public discourse. And it's through the reveal of Hawks' background that exemplify this even more than any reveal with Endeavor, because as revealed to us, Hawks' father was a notorious criminal, and because of that, under normal circumstances, he probably wouldn't have been able to become a hero. So the only route for him, in the end, was to work directly with the government as their agent. But even despite the method by which it happened, he still used the opportunity he was given in order to become the type of person that people could depend on, rather than the one he was expected to become because of who his father was, which plays even more beautifully into his introductory scene of Hawks interacting with the people when we first meet him, because that pretty much showed us who Hawks really is. One thing I do want to know, however, is how Toya and Hawks know each other, because there seems to be hints at a childhood friendship of sorts, or they at least know each other. So I'd like to dive into that a lot more. Because yeah, honestly, when it comes to Hawks right now, like that, I'm not gonna lie, there's a little bit of a yeah. When it comes to Hawks, I can't lie. There's a little that there. I'm right now. I'm kind of thinking back to that scene between Hawks and Toya now, and the way they interacted, it definitely means they know each other for sure. And I'd like to know if it was just it was how they know each other. Were they childhood friends? Was it something to do with the government? Like, yeah, I definitely want to know exactly more of what the whole details of Hawks and Hawks and Toya's relationship is, because it does seem to hint a little bit at more than just being acquaintances, for sure. I think they're heavily. I think Horikoshi is heavily leaning towards some childhood friend kind of thing, because there's definitely a scene where that mirrored how Hawks, that mirrored when Hawks was looking at the back of Endeavor or whatnot. So yeah. Now, with that said, let's talk about the return of Best Jeanist, because on one hand, I would have liked him to stay dead, honestly. But at the same time, as I just mentioned, the fact that he is alive at all still works to reinforce the type of character Hawks is. And the way it was executed with the last second save is a nice break, in the sense where his return serves as a little bit of hope going forward, because for everything Toya has done to discredit Endeavor and Hawks and just heroes in general, Jeanist's return does poke a small enough of a fallacy in his plan that can restore a tiny bit of faith in heroes, despite what's been revealed. And really, from here, that kid that was rooting on Endeavor back in the Pro Hero arc is kind of a representation of the idea now that from here on, the faith in heroes, and especially Endeavor, is going to heavily rely on public perception. And if Horikoshi plays this right, I'm imagining we're looking at a much more fractured belief in heroes than ever before. But and honestly, I'll say one more thing. As much as I like Best Jeanist return, I do think I'm not gonna lie, it cut through a little bit of the hype moment we were about to see with Toya and Todoroki, and Shoto almost going to go at each other. I was really getting hyped. I was really getting hyped in order to see that fight, but then obviously Yes Genius kind of knows like, okay, fine, but yeah, I wanted to see the fight. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Oyster Control. Death Knight of me, signing off. Later, guys.